years ago, we decided it was time for an updated bathroom to take it from the early 2000s, 1990s into a more contemporary sort of style. First thing I did was measure up and come up with some sort of plan. I used a very simple program called SketchUp. I moved the shower to where the spa bath used to be, and then I put the bath into where the shower area used to be. So then the fun part, which was to begin with the demo. Under the shower was a lot of rotting wood. It was caused by termites, which we knew about previously, and obviously this led to the waterproofing being compromised. Once the spa bath and the old shower was removed, I also removed the old tiles, ready to start with the construction. At this stage, I decided to use microcement instead of just ordinary tiles. The old corner mirror that we had to be covered with timber in line with the existing tiles so that I had a nice flat surface. The old cornice needed to be removed to create a square set finish. This was more in keeping with the Tuscan style, and that was the style that I was actually going for. So I had to come up with a way of covering the gap between the ceiling and the wall. So I created a right angle gap filler, and I used just simple craft wood, and I mounted it onto a 90-degree length of right angle aluminium. This was then screwed and glued together. I then screwed the angled piece along the gap. Then the rough plastering began to fill between the wall and the ceiling. After setting in the corners, I then got to the really dirty work, and that was grinding the tiles. You can actually use micro cement straight over tiles, so that meant that I was going to save a hell of a lot of time. And you know, so long as the original tiles are stable and have been put on properly, that micro cement will sit on there beautifully. The grinder had a special masonry grinding plate put on it, and this was absolutely perfect for the job. You could see how that dust was flying everywhere when I was using it. The tiles have to be grinded, or otherwise they're going to be very, very shiny and they're not going to be porous. You need really porous surface in order for the micro cement to stick onto it properly. I used the original tiles first of all though, before I actually got to putting the vanity in and putting other things up such as nib walls. So I did a little drawing, I measured everything up and just worked out exactly where mirrors were going to fit, where the taps were going to fit, and other things that were required. So my first building job was to create the nib walls. I ensured that everything was very, very strong, was connected to both the floor and to the wall, and I had to also make sure that everything was level. The top of the nib wall has a triangular top at this stage. Later on I'll be adding a circular or rounded curved into the top of that. I also created a nib wall in the shower for the liquid soap and other things that you want to keep in the shower. The old power cables and the plumbing was removed later on by an electrician once I worked out where everything was going. The top of the nib wall had a triangular top, and this was so that I could then add on a curve later on, and you'll see that in the construction. It was really necessary that I created a curve on the top of those nib walls because I really wanted the bathroom to have a Tuscan feel. I created the curve by simply using a steel ruler with a hole on one end. I nailed the hole on one end and then I just pulled the ruler around with a permanent marker on the other end to create a perfect curve. I then cut the curve with a jigsaw blade, which was actually a masonry blade, and then after I cut it, I then sanded it smooth. I did this 4 times so that I had my front, my back, my front and back. To then create a strong curved frame, I got a piece of timber and I cut into it in little gaps, and then that way the timber would actually curve around. I then clamped the timber to the actual frame and then I screwed in each side so that it held really well against each other and made sure there was plenty of liquid nails. A little tip or a bit of a trick when you're actually nailing on things like boards onto a frame and you can't see the other side, just make sure that you measure some lines to show you exactly where you're going to be putting those nails and you're not nailing it straight into a gap. The next thing I had to do was actually fill in between those 2 boards, and I used a thing called rapid set mortar. It's absolutely perfect for the job. It dries nice and quick and really easy to shape. To avoid cracking, I also made sure that I used a mesh tape. This makes it very, very strong in all the join areas. Then I had to make a really strong frame for the bath to sit into. The old plumbing was later on moved by a plumber, and then I got the bath set in and then the new plumbing was fitted. The next thing I did was make some internal curves for the old shower door that used to be just square. And hey presto, after a lot of work, I now have my lovely curved nib walls. Once all the areas had been fixed with some rapid set mortar and I'd evened up all the surfaces so everything was the same flatness.
Here is Robbo and Muz's bathroom so far. This is where the vanity's going to be.
Do you want me to get in there?
Yeah.
So this is going to be the mirror, and then there's going to be another mirror there, light there, it's a pendulum light. Over here we've got a beautiful brushed brass shower head coming out, and we've also got a hand shower coming in just there. We've got our shelf, and then when you move over here, we've got the bath. So the bath is larger size, and so I put the nook in there. I built the nook, and so at this point I've made sure that it's waterproof. So I put the membrane on, second coat, and I'm just about ready to do the ceilings. So everything's looking good so far.
And don't forget the shitter, Robbo.
Oh, there's going to be a toilet where
right
the
here.
ladder is. And
here is the little bathroom renovator extraordinaire.
to the shed, I'll show you the timber that we use. So this is our bench top that we're doing, which is otherwise known as a vanity top. But this is oversized at the moment. I'll be cutting this down. It's been made out of some old timber and it's taken me a whole day to sand this, but it's a gorgeous piece of timber. Once it's had its lacquer and everything put on, it's just gorgeous. You can see probably the colour here because I put a bit of lacquer there. And we've also got over here, we've got some timber happening where we're going to put a shelf. So it's going to have a shelf, a bench top, and it's going to have a one drawer. So very bespoke. In order to get the micro cement actually to sit on top of those tiles as well as on top of the rapid set cement, I needed to make sure that I added a grit primer. This is an absolute essential process because this makes sure that your first coat of micro cement sits on there strongly and is attached. The grit's applied with a roller evenly and it's put onto all the surfaces. This video is actually showing me paint over the top where I put some rapid set cement over the top of where the vanity is. Now it's time to begin the first coat of micro cement. It needs to be done straight over the top of fiberglass mesh. I also had to make sure that blue tape was placed anywhere where there was between, say, the ceiling and the wall. This was to make sure that there was no micro cement on the ceiling, but also you can see that on the edges of the window. Removing the blue tape immediately after you've actually done the micro cementing is absolutely essential. I actually forgot to remove some of the tape and it was extremely difficult to try and get that off. The first coat of micro cement is actually called the fondue, and you need to make sure that you mix part A and part B. It's on a 2:1 ratio. The shower is now also waterproofed as well as the bath around the top area, and you can see that the toilet has been fitted just for a bit of a test run. Here you can see the progress of the bath entry with the beautiful curve that's been put into the squared off door. This is now a perfect Tuscany entry into the bath. The timber vanity is now being placed into position, and the warmth of the wood or the timber will look absolutely fantastic against that cement render. The first coat can actually be done in sections, so not all of the micro cement needs to go onto all the walls all at once. You can actually put that straight on and it doesn't make a difference because you can't see the transition later on. However, when you put on the second coats, you need to make sure that you do it, say, one wall at a time, or to do a whole room at a time. You cannot have it so that it's overlapping. If you do, it will definitely be a different colour. It looks slightly different. When you put the coats on, you need to make sure that you sand between each coat. With the first coat of micro cement, I used a 125 grit. When you get onto the second coats with the finer micro cement, you can use a 125 or maybe get into the 250 grit. The next coat is called Finitura. It's a much finer micro cement. As I said before, when you put on the second coat, you need to make sure that you get your section done maybe to the join, or even if you can get a whole room done. Any overlaps are just not going to look that good. Once again, even with the Finitura, you need to make sure you mix A and B with a 2:1 ratio, and it needs to be mixed extremely well. You cannot leave any little bits of grit and sand in there because it will not look good. You want your colours to come right through, so a really good mix of that needs to be done. There's different sorts of trowels that you use to actually put the micro cement on. I chose to use a professional stainless steel trowel, and that one worked really well with me. They say that it sometimes marks the surface, and once I'd done it, I couldn't see any strange marks or anything. I felt really comfortable using it, and even if there is a little bit of marking, a little bit of grey, to me, that is a part of that actual system. After the second coat's been dried, usually that takes maybe about 8 to 24 hours depending on the weather, you can then put the first coat of primer on. This needs to be done with a 5mm mohair roller. The reason why you use a primer is to make sure that it's not so absorbent anymore, because when you put on your last coat you don't want all of that to be sucked into that bit of micro cement. It's very, very dry. When you roll, you need to be really careful. You don't want any drips to come out. You need it to make sure that it's a nice smooth surface. Once your primer is dry, once again 8 hours, 8 to 24 hours, then you can go ahead and you can start your first coat of the top coat. This is also a 2-part system and needs to be measured very accurately. So the instructions are 1 kilo to 200 grams of the 2 different mixtures. However, when you do the floor of the shower, it needs to be 1 kilo to 400 grams. After 6 to 24 hours, then you can put on the second coat. It can be applied after that. If you leave it after 24 hours, you're going to create extra work for yourself, because it means that you will have to sand the surface before you can put your next coat on. When doing the corners, I made sure I used a brush, and when I used the brush, once again I made sure there were no drips. I did not want to see any little drips and other bits and pieces that weren't done properly, and then I'd go ahead with a mohair roller and just fix up all the rest of the walls. I chose a glossy finish, however you can do a more matte type of finish. I decided to use the glossy because it's a bathroom. In the shower I wanted to make sure that it was going to repel all that water. It's a personal choice. You can go for something a little bit more matte. And so now I've gotten to the stage where it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm so impressed and so happy that I did the micro cement. It's crazy. It took me 2 years from the beginning to end. Of course, you know, there were holidays in between that, and also had to renovate a kitchen. But in regards to the whole finish, it was well worth it. This is a very contemporary surface. It works really well with that Tuscany look, and as well as that, there's not going to be any grout that I need to be cleaning. It's a very, very easy clean. Not everything's been completed. I do have these lovely brass mirrors, and I've got my gorgeous brushed brass furniture in, you know, with the taps and also the shower head. However, I still have not done the last thing, which is the drawer, and I know that the drawer is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll update this video once I've done the drawer, but here it is, and I couldn't be any happier. I would say if you're thinking about using micro cement yourself, you have to be brave. You have to put in a lot of time and effort, and it is not easy unless you're very good at rendering concrete, cement, that sort of stuff. I had a bit of an advantage because being from an art background and being a sculptor, it came naturally to me, so I'd say you'd need a lot of practice to make sure that you just refine that technique. Anyway, micro cement bathroom, tick, done, and on to the next reno.